The Lioness, she did it again, AJ. She made it look too easy. She made it look like, why are y'all playing with me here in this octagon? I do this, but I have to take a step back. Before she called it quits, man, I had a little bit of a feeling that this was going to be the final fight. Not because I'm, you know what I mean, Nostradamus and I can see into the future, but because if you looked at how the fight played out, before we talk about the inevitable downfall of Irene Aldana, there were some finishing opportunities in this fight. There were some opportunities for Nunes to take some risks in this fight, which she opted to say, nah, I'm going to make this a clean, easy victory. I'm going to grind it out on the ground for the last round of the fight, even though I didn't really want anything to do with it in the beginning. And then I'm going to go home, flawless victory, hardly touched, 2 belts on the ground, retire, and call it a day, man. Did you get that same feeling? Did you see this incoming, or was it as surprising as Dana White felt, where it kind of felt like he was signaling, like, no, you better not retire right now? What you think, bro?
Check the tape, folk. I said it in the prelim. I didn't want to call for retirement, but it felt like if she gets the dub, she goes off in grace. I was not shocked at all, man. I was kind of ready to go back and really see that one because you're right. Dana White needs Amanda Nunes to actually keep this division, a couple divisions going. But I mean, this is what else do you want? It's a perfect storybook ending to me personally, Derek. You know.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best way to do it. It is the most Habib-esque way to do it. Have a dominant victory and then just go out in grace and say, you know what? You know the real reason why I retired? You know, it was kind of Khabib-esque, right? My mom doesn't, you know, she doesn't like it, all that good stuff. But it kind of felt like even though all she gave all of those reasons, it was more of, I'm tired of beating y'all up and I'm not doing these rematches over and over and over again. There's no new blood. What else y'all want me to do? I'm out. Peace. Y'all go figure it out. She even said, I'm the only Brazilian champion remaining. Brazil, y'all need to get your stuff together, bro. You know what I mean? Like, let's bring it back to the days where it was 5 UFC champions coming from Brazil and all that. But all that to say, man, this was almost too easy of an opportunity for her in a retirement fight against a fighter that we proclaimed as being one of her toughest challenges. She just came off of 2 fights with Juliana Pena, and we said, you know what? This is a different, complete package. This is a fierce boxer, big, tall, long, lanky. And when she got into the arena, it was almost the Megan Anderson effect, where she froze up and saw a ghost before even entering the cage. So let me ask you that, AJ, because you know right now, Irene Aldana is getting nothing but negative things thrown at her, right? You choked, da-da-da-da-da, whatever, right? Is it fair to say that she simply froze up and did not bring the Irene Aldana that we watched on tape in preparation for this fight? Or is Amanda Nunes simply that good to where she presents a different level of the game that all these other contenders just haven't seen yet?
I think it's the latter, Derek. I think it's Amanda Nunes being so good, so pressure forward, so insistent on fighting her style of fight that when we talk about all the time on the show, what do you do to a bully? What do you do to somebody that is looking to walk you down and impose their will on it? Well, you bully them back. And when Aldana has the hands, and that's what she's so confident in, she's a slick striker, good head movement, very technical. DC's breaking down how technical her hooks are, how beautiful her strikes are. You come in, you can't touch the girl. She's bobbing and weaving, ducking under, hitting you harder than you thought. And maintaining range, man, and there's nothing you can do. It's so frustrating. That's where I think that's the momentum transfer. That's where the fighters go, oh, fuck, like, damn, this is a lot harder of a fight than I thought it was going to be. I don't know if I want to be here anymore. And you just keep on getting work for another 25 minutes. What do you think, Derek? Was it the latter or the former?
I think it's a mixture of both, but I don't think it's as easy to say that Amanda Nunes is just such on a different stratosphere that Irene Aldana was shut down and she wasn't able to throw. Because that's the problem, is you have to insert yourself into a fight to make it a fight. And I felt like she never inserted herself in there, right? She landed a total of 57 strikes in this fight. A 5-round championship fight. A fight where you said, I'm bringing that 4th belt home back to Mexico. A fight where everybody had you on their shoulders, which was bringing you up and all of that stuff. This is your opportunity. She is as old as Amanda Nunes. You may never get to fight for a title again. And if you do, you'll never fight against Nunes again. And this is the performance that you brought on. So, once again, I know everybody is hailing things at her in a negative limelight. I really just think that Opportunity wise, she didn't show up. So as a wagerer, as a bettor, I want a mulligan. I want my money back. However, that's the name of the game that we play. So I think it's a beautiful scenario because perception wise, we're going to look back at this performance, and this is going to be part of the myth of Amanda Nunes. Not the myth, but like the story, right? The legend of Amanda Nunes, which is going to proclaim her, as one of the best to ever do it. Now, Daniel Cormier proclaimed her as the greatest fighter of all time. Do you think that Amanda Nunes has entered that category, or has she simply locked down greatest woman fighter, double champ of all time?
I have to go with the greatest female fighter of all time, Derek. I don't know if there's it may just be a weekly conversation that everybody's having that this is the greatest fighter of all time. It seems to be that belt changes hands more than any other title that's out there, because it's that might be the most "what have you done for me lately" title that anybody holds. Because yes, is she absolutely phenomenal? Did she run through 2 divisions, hold it on for so long? I believe she has the most title defenses for female history. And check that stat because I could be wrong on it, but still very imposing will. But does that make her as good as, a Mighty Mouse, a John Jones, a GSP? There's so many other people that go out there into that conversation that necessarily had, or I guess arguably had harder opponents, harder matchups, more grit put against them. And yeah, with the loss against Pena, I get it. That right there puts a little asterisk that not a lot of people like to talk about. But it does go to Amanda Nunes also, that she came back, fought better, learned, developed, grew as a fighter, changed camps, and actually did that. So there is some claim to that title. I just think there's other harder fights out there, harder matchups, and more interesting storylines that go into this. Because at the end of the day, yeah, she did have opposition, but was it a consistent 7, 8, 9 battles back and forth? I don't know, Derek. What do you think? Greatest of all time or greatest female fighter of all time?
Well, to answer your first question, she just edged out Valentina Shevchenko for the most title defenses in UFC women's history with 8. Valentina had 7, right? So can Valentina, if she gets her belt back, can she beat that record? Yeah, absolutely, right? However, Nunes did it across 2 belts, right? Featherweight and bantamweight. So there is that. Now, I do think that Amanda Nunes right now, once again, she did display herself as somebody who is just on a level that is unreachable, untouchable. But the Juliana Pena story, as you just mentioned, it does throw a little bit of a wrench into that, because Pena's over here, you're ducking me, all this stuff, right? And it's like, well, you just got mollywopped fucking 50-43, just, you know what I mean, in your last fight, but that's neither here nor there. I just think that it's going to be tough to see another female fighter put on a run such as this. So, folks, just take a quick peek right here. I'm going to pull up the Tapology. This is where the run started. 2016, she got her hands on gold against Miesha Tate, right? And Miesha Tate was very, very formidable at the time, so I don't want us to be looking at this like, oh, Miesha Tate, what are you talking about? You scroll up, and you see all that green, all these wins, that one blemish to Pena, and then it all ends here in 2023. So if you're talking about a run that started in 2016 and it ends in 2023 victoriously, I mean, brother, you can't really conjure up anything that's better than that. So for that being said, biggest winner here, it's Amanda Nunes, clearly. Biggest loser here, it's Irene Aldana, clearly. And at the end of the day, I really do think that impact-wise, Amanda Nunes, and this is going to be crazy to sound, fight-wise, I'm not talking about outside perspective optics bringing people into the show. I think Amanda Nunes is going to have a much more lasting legacy than Ronda Rousey in the grand scheme of things in the women's division. Would you agree?
100%, Derek. Amanda Nunes has all the X's and O's to have that longer lasting impact. And I also think she's probably going to do more as a coach and a owner and a gym owner going forward, and develop the next tier of fighters to come across. Ronda necessarily went into the WWE. You can't blame her. Everybody has different paths. And I do think Nunes' path will be a little bit more well-sustained, if you will.
Yeah, with that being said, man, happy retirement to the Lioness, Amanda Nunes, the double champ, the one who is going to bring the featherweight division to a close.